Hi, my name is Jan. I'm with the Downtube. I want to introduce our new XS front suspension folding bike. So I'm going to talk about the controls, work my way down, then from front to the back of the bike. So we're going to start with bar ends, and bar ends are great. As I mentioned in some other videos, they were actually developed for hill climbing on mountain bikes. By pulling back on the bar ends, you actually dig your rear wheel into the ground and you climb up hills much faster without using extra bike strength, because they create more friction with the rear wheel. Right? In addition, you see different hand positions. You can kind of just move your hands around, which just makes it much more comfortable on a comfort commuting bike like this to bike around. So it's really great having bar ends. And if you don't like them, you can obviously just remove them with a 5mm Allen wrench. And you can rotate them. Some people like them up. I prefer them down to get more of a tuck, so you get more aerodynamic, kind of position when you're riding. But everybody does their own thing, so no big deal. Okay, then we have ergonomic grips. Comfort grips, foam grips, which are really nice and soft. I love these grips. These are definitely my favorite grips. Much more comfortable than rubber grips. So ergonomically shaped for your hands. So these are really, really nice. Then we have Tektro brake levers. So we've used these brake levers for quite a while. And they have a comfort strip, so essentially 2-finger levers, and really comfortable. So now we move on to our Microshift XLE rear derailleur and trigger shifter combination. So this is a 10-speed setup. This is a really big upgrade for us. Previously we used trigger shifters as well, which are obviously much better in grip shift because there's no impact on the wrist, right? You're not going to impact your wrist. So these are really light action. And to go up, it's spring loaded. With the index finger, you could also use your middle finger, but usually it's the index. It's used to shift up. And to shift down, use your thumb. And it's really light action with the thumb as well. And these are much better than our previous push-push dynamic. So because you're diversifying the stress on 2 different points, 2 different fingers. And it's keeping it simple. Like in the, when I was going from bike to bike, I would mix up the push-pull as the top and the up, or the bottom and the up. And so when you have 2 different levers that are acting differently, I just naturally know when I'm on this bike. Nice little display here, which I can't show on the video, but that's fine. I'll tell you what gear you're in. Alright, so high-rise bars are great because these really allow you to stretch out the bike. If you have really long arms, you can just, this height in the bar can actually be rotated to go forward to give you a little bit more length, in your virtual top tube length. And if you have short arms, you can just rotate it backwards likewise. Here we have a new stem, and the stem has a quick release at the top, so you can easily rotate the bar as you want for whatever's comfortable, which is nice, toolless design. In addition, if you're going to fold a bike and you don't want it to scratch yourself, the biggest risk is the brake levers. Brake levers can actually scratch your frame, so you just pull the brake levers out of the way. And if you care about that, if you don't worry about it. Right, it's height adjustable, which is really nice. So it goes up and down, and it stays centered really well. We have a little groove in here to keep it centered. So that's a very nice little setup compared to our previous stems. All right, so in addition, the stem is much shorter than our previous stems, which is nice because it allows for shorter riders, right? You can push the handlebars much further down than you could previously. And obviously they go up really high, so it's not a big deal. And we use a 28.6 tube in this iteration of the stem, and that's very important because it's a 1-1/8. And the point being, you can put any 1-1/8 stem on this bike without any shims or any nonsense. So it's really nice, quick, easy to just customize to any normal bike stem. Here we have the stem. It has a safety lock here. I'll fold it up in a little bit, so I'm not going to really focus on the fold right now. But it's a really nice heavy-duty stem at the bottom. Integrated headset here, integrating the head tube, and we've used that for quite a while at this point. I don't remember when we introduced that, but close to 10 years ago is my recollection. So, and it's really nice, lightweight, much lighter than our previous design, but obviously a generation before. We have a head tube, a 3-ball head tube interface on the head tube for a bag system. Bikes are generally rear heavy, so putting weight in the front is the way to go. And having a bag interface or something in the front to carry loads there is really perfect, right? The biggest problem with folding bikes, especially aluminum frame folding bikes, which essentially is the entire market of folding bikes, is aluminum is stiff metal. As you compactify the frame, smaller triangles, it's stiffer, and small radius wheels are just really, really stiff. the point being, for a bigger, heavier rider, it's a much less comfortable ride. And so what a rider needs essentially is suspension. And this is essentially perfect. The rear suspension obviously is extra, but the front suspension is more of a requirement. And so we put a front suspension fork, which is preload adjustable. You know, you can just rotate there's a little knob here that you can rotate to increase or decrease the preload. I'm not going to see it in the video, but that's okay. It's at the top of the fork. Trans-arch design fork is really stiff, left to right. Obviously, it's soft up and down. That's what forks are made to do. Really nice V-brake calipers, front and rear. They're the same in the front and the rear. And also, we upgrade the noodles, which is really nice. I really like these noodles. You know, rust resistant and really flexible, so they're sweet. Rims are machine sidewall, so they allow the brakes to bite down them, so you're going to stop much faster, even in weird terrain. You know, if it's moist and stuff, the brakes aren't going to slip on the rim. They're actually going to have a little surface to bite down on, which is really nice. So stainless steel spokes and 6-bolt interface on the hub. So this is a disc-ready bike. We don't have discs stock on the bike, and the reason we don't is on a folding bike, when you fold and unfold it frequently, it's very likely to bend the rotors, which is the worst thing you're going to have if you're going to be riding around with a bent rotor. So allowing riders to put a disc on it is perfect, but not making it necessary, right? So yeah, so I think having the option to go in disc. So if you want to go disc, you can just throw it on. The cable routing is here on the left side of the fork. We have tabs on the fork to allow for a disc caliper, and 6-bolt interface on the hub. Quick release on the front wheel as well as in the rear wheel, right? 1.5 millimeter front tire, 406 radius, 20-inch 406, and 1.5 inch width, and 1.75 inch in the back. And the reason we mix match tires is because you get more rolling resistance in the front. There's a push force in the front, pull in the rear, so minimizing the cross section. That's really what's going to define resistance. The cross section of the tire lets this thing roll. And I still off-road with this as well as our full suspension. But I don't recommend anybody do any off-roading on this because it's actually much more dangerous. The small wheel bikes act differently than big wheel bikes. So you got to be much more in tune with what's going on. All right, so nice logo here. We have water bottle interfaces here and here, pump interface, front to rear braze-on, so you can make this a double. Definitely don't recommend a triple, though it is possible. So if you do some really serious loaded touring, that's possible. Folding pedals are really easy to fold. I'm going to keep it folded just because I'm going to fold the bike in a little bit. So hollow cranks here, ISIS style, which means it's actually much more efficient than our old square taper design. Cold forged cranks, which are great, and the bottom bracket is just really a lot lighter and just honestly just a lot higher quality. And given the interface, there's much more surface area contact between the crank and the bottom bracket, which means it's just so much more efficient with power transfer. So it's really, really nice. Little frame protector down at the bottom, which I don't know if it's visible in the camera, but what that allows, when the bike is folded, you can lean it on that. It's a little folding bike kickstand when it's folded. At the same time, if you're flying with this bike, that'll protect it from the bottom, which is very important. We have a kickstand on this bike. This is our commuter. So kickstand, and it's adjustable height kickstand, which is really nice because if you want extra lean, depending on where you are, if it's a really windy place, you want extra lean, make sure the wind's not going to tip it over. And so you can adjust the height of this kickstand. So it's a really nice kickstand. All right, so as we move back, rack interfaces here, so it's a really solid little rack interface. Same rear wheel setup as the front, and then brakes are the same, rims, machine sidewall, 6-bolt interface on the hub, and disc tabs on the frame. And 10-speed setup, which is a really nice upgrade for this year. We had 9-speed last year. And not only is it a nice upgrade, but it's a wider cassette. It's 1134 cassette, which is extremely wide compared to 1132 that we used before. And we also went with a mid-cage rear derailleur, which means you can go with 1136 cassette on the back, which is just a dream. To have an 1136 rear cassette, that wide gear range on such a setup is just amazing. And generally, low gear we have is 28 gear inches, and so it's a little more than 300% from low to high. So this thing has a good top speed, as well as a great, low gear for hill climbing. And that's pretty much a drivetrain. That's one of the biggest upgrades. So let me just fold this up, and I think we're gonna, end this video. So here I'm just gonna pull this down, folds down, this, and it goes down, and just lift up in the quick release. And it's not gonna fold because there's a safety lock. You have to lift up, and then it just folds up just like so. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it.